Önce kendimi tanıtayım. Ben Boğaziçi Üniversitesi öğretim üyesiyim. Eğitim Fakültesi, Eğitim Bilimleri, Rehberlik ve Psikoloji Danışmanlığı Anabilim Dalı Programı. Aynı zamanda Boğaziçi Üniversitesi Sosyal Politika Anabilim Dalı'nda başkanıyım. Uzun zamandır da yerel yönetimlerde zaten çalışıyoruz. Bugün çok ilginç bir Karşıyaka Belediyesi'yle beraber ortak bir projemiz de var. Covid öncesi başladığımız. O yüzden aslında benim anlatacaklarım kısmını Cemil Bey de aktarıyor olacak ama kendi Karşıyaka yerelinde yapmış olduklarını. Bugünkü oturum aslında 45 dakikalık bir oturum olacak. Arkasından da ikinci oturumda da yaşlılıkla devam edilecek. Maruf şöyle yapmış, 7'den 77'ye diye dile getirmiş ama biz onu biraz açıyoruz. Aslında 0'dan 77 artı diyeyim ben. Çünkü biliyorsunuz yaş ömrü arttı ve erken çocukluk denilince akla 7 çok genç. Aslında bazen biz diyoruz ki 3 bile geç olabilir. Hani bir nebze kendimi hani öğretim üyesi olarak, hak savunucusu olarak da gördüğüm için erken çocukluk denince akla 4 yaş ve sonrası geliyor. Gelişim hakkı, oyun hakkı ve mikrofon tamam buraya geldi. O bağlamda düşündüğümüz zaman dediğim gibi erken çocukluk dönemi 0'dan başlayan, hatta annenin gebelik sürecinden itibaren devam eden bir süreç olduğu için onu da aldık ve şehirlerimiz aslında nasıl olacak diyerekten küçük bir çocuğun gözünden bu şehirler nasıl olabilirdi? Sonraki oturumda eğer yaşlıysanız aynı zamanda ben mikro saldırılar, daha doğrusu yaşa bağlı ayrımcılıkla da çalışıyorum ama yaşınız ilerledikçe acaba şehirlerimiz buna ne kadar uygun, onları da etap etap göreceğiz. Şimdi ben müsaadenizle tanıtımları yapacağım. Kendimi tanıttım zaten. Daha fazla detay istiyorsanız da internet sitesinden CV'lerimiz yüklendi. Cemil Bey'le zaten bulmadığınız zaman bulabiliyorsunuz. Biz şöyle oturduk, ben moderasyonu yapacağım için burada oturdum. Misafirimizi yurt dışından geldiği için ortaya aldım. Cemil Bey'le de öyle karar verdik. Biz ev sahibimiz de misafirimiz de ortada. Yani buradaki düzen bir yarattığı etkiye göre değildir. Dediğim gibi ya da hani ortaya aldığınızda tamamıyla ev sahipliği. If I will correctly pronounce your name, but Përparim Rama, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
You did a great job.
All right. Përparim Rama 1976'da Prishtina'da doğmuştur. 16 yaşındayken Büyük Britanya'ya taşınmıştır. Yani savaş durumuna istinaden memleketinde, çünkü ağırlaşmış olan, hepimizin de Kosova süreci takip ettiğimiz için sizlerin de bildiği üzere siyasi koşullar nedeniyle kendisine sığınma hakkı verilmiştir. Lisans eğitimi Londra South Bank Üniversitesi'nde mimarlık alanında tamamlayan Rama, Doğu Londra Üniversitesi'nde diploma ARK dediğimiz, yani mimarlık diplomasını almış ve yüksek lisansını tamamlamıştır. Daha sonra Londra Southampton Havalimanı'nda danışman olarak çalışmaya başlamıştır. Nottingham Üniversitesi Mimarlık Okulu'nda mentorluk yapmış ve Smart Lab Medya Enstitüsü'nde üretken mimari ve smart bina tasarımı alanında doktora adaylarını denetlemiştir. Rama, 2012 yılında Venedik Mimarlık Bienalinde Filigree Maker pavyonu, aslında Türkçe'ye çevirdiğimiz zaman telkare dediğimiz, bizim de bildiğimiz ama bunun sanata nasıl yansıdığı, hatta 2012'deki Bienal'de'nin başkanı bunun mimari demokrasi olduğunu söylemiştir. Bunlar CV'de yoktu ama ben kendilerini Google'ladım ve olası olaraktan biraz da Bienal'i inceleme fırsatı oldum. Oradaki mimari düzeyde sadece olayın mimari yapısı değil ama bizim bunu duygularımızda nasıl ifade ettiğimiz, katılımcıları aslında bir şekilde sosyal network, umarım doğru anlamışımdır projeyi, ama o sanatın, yani telkari sanatını biliyorsunuz, o altın ve o incecik o şeyleri oluşturmayı da düşünürsek, biz bunu aslında içimizde nasıl, duyguları da içimize alacak şekilde aslında nasıl reprezente ediyoruz, nasıl sunuyoruz, bunun üzerine bir çalışmaları da olmuştu ve ilk defa Kosova'yı o zaman temsil edilmişti Bienal'de. Rama, Katar Ulusal Araştırma Fonu'nda kentsel ve mimari projeler konusunda danışmanlık yapmıştır. Arnavutluğun güneydoğu kıyısındaki Dermi sürdürülebilir köy geliştirmeye yönelik imar planıyla da ilgilenen proje ekibinin liderliğinde yapmıştır. Londra'daki Newham ve Tower Hamlets belediyelerinin mekansal planlama araçlarının ve mimari geliştirilmesi konusunda da danışmanlık yapmıştır. Prishtina için düzenlenen planın hazırlamasında da öncülük etmiştir. Doğu Londra Üniversitesi ve Birleşik Krallık Mimarlık Derneği'nde belirli aralıklarla danışman, eleştirmen olarak görev yapmıştır. 2012 Londra Olimpiyatlarının mekansal planlamasında Doha'nın vizyonuna ve New York, Dublin, Basel, Prag ve Şam'daki büyük projelerde de yer almıştır. Size veriyorum konuşmanız için. Tekrar hoş geldiniz. Daha sonra Cemil Bey'in CV'si ve onun konuşmaları için kendileri. İlk sunumumuzu lütfen açabilir miyiz? So we're gonna go through your presentation, right? And do you need a pointer? Burada bir yerde pointer olması ister misin?
Great.
You have, okay.
Thank you very much. I'll see if I can work this up.
Bir dakika. So can you push the microphone, please? Okay.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here today with all of you in Istanbul, in the beautiful Istanbul, in this Marmara Forum. As you can see, my background is an architect and an urban planner, and I have lived in London for about 29 years prior to moving back to Prishtina, to my own city, the city where I was born. I am now the mayor of the capital city, and I'm engaged in several schemes, several projects. I mean, the key aspects of transforming the city, and it starts from sort of bottom up. You know, the idea of creating environments that are safe for all. And you're absolutely right that I think it should be 0 to 77
Thank
rather
you.
than
And more
7.
than plus.
Yes, absolutely, and not only urban environments impact us, but actually every area where we live, work, play, spend our time has a direct impact on our emotional and psychological sort of behavior. So the way what we're doing is from different building regulations and different building codes, you know, all the new buildings that are now being designed and defined have to have the impact, the psychological impact on people that live in there. So these are several characteristics that we have changed and transformed in our city making now almost 2 years ago, since I took over as mayor of the capital city. Since we have a very brief time here, 15 minutes, and then we can discuss them further, I wanted to present some of the key interventions that we are creating on the streets of the city, which are focused around schools, in public spaces, in public realms, to create environments where people, predominantly children, feel safe, but they also have they can sort of have areas where they can play, which play is very important as part of positive psychological impact in people and in particular in children, to increase their confidence, to interact, to build themselves, build their confidence, and then interact with each other and create sort of an environment which is healthy and positive. Some of the streets, some of the images that you see here are around the city center. There's a primary school called Elena Gika, which prior to our intervention was not a safe street. It was filled with cars, it was a thoroughfare, and in collaboration with residents and children there, and I think it's always a great idea that you do involve the community. And a lot of different ideas and different outcomes come as a result of coming together and joining together with all stakeholders, from very young ones to the elderly, as to how our streets should change. And by kind of working together, different stakeholders, so different members of the society there, they become partners in city making or in transformation of the city. And therefore, as partners in the city making, while the transformation happens, but also after the transformation has happened, then they look after it, they take care of it, because they've obviously been part of this city's transformation. So you see some of the images here that have sort of transformed the streets in front of this school, Elena Gika, and it has become an event space. So all of a sudden, when you close the roads to the cars and you create a safe environment, you have parents with children, you have elderly, you have different parts of the society that group together and organize different events. So the city feels like it goes back to its citizens, and there's a lot of room for celebration, for celebrating life, and I think that that's what our cities should be about. You can see, what happened from an unsecure street to a party place with a lot of different functions and programs, and engaging the kids that go to school there, but also children around the neighborhood that then in these different times of the day and times of the week join the events to learn. So they learn through play, they learn through stories, they learn by doing, by engaging on different workshops, by discussing with one another, and so on and so forth. Another aspect which I feel, as a city mayor, that is very important, especially in the urban environments, is that we have, unfortunately, for several decades, as the cities become places where more and more people live in, and there's different statistics that, now we already have more of the half of the world population living in urban areas. It is very important that nature is intertwined with urban developments, and also processes that we undergo as children. They actually tend to be the ones that infuse the nature and how things grow, how we sort of develop, how food grows. How the natural processes, biological processes happen and emerge, and you can actually learn or create this sort of school environments in outdoor spaces. And here you see some images that are the outcomes of these urban interventions, or we call them urban farms, in local areas, in sort of different centers around the capital city, where locals engage with each other, and so predominantly children engage and learn how farming happens or how to grow things. But also you can see that people with different abilities, physical abilities, this becomes also a platform to get them out and engage them. And I think it is very important for cities that we leave nobody behind. And also, the urban environments, they don't become these unsafe or concrete jungles, but we infuse as much of nature as possible. Various elements that here were grown during this process of urban farming, and this proved to be very exciting and an outcome that people loved, families and children. It is also very important that several areas, or all areas, or all pockets within urban environment, they do have places for play. They are sort of safe, secure, and engage with children from very young age, but also, apart from providing spaces for children, as I mentioned earlier, it is important that we also provide spaces for caretakers, the ones that look after children, so that they can socialize. And we have started utilizing or analyzing areas, different pockets around town, and seeing these sort of very quick strategic interventions that create opportunities for socializing and learning, and creating environments where different demographies, so from 0 to 77, meet in the urban environments. Again, I think it is very important that degradation in various parts of the city, that they are taken care of, because while we transform, while we design spaces, they either have a positive impact in our conscious and subconscious, or a negative impact. It's never neutral. And it is important that we try and make as many positive impacts in people's conscious and subconscious behavior, because it is a reverberating environment that then translates in how we also engage with one another and treat one another. And this goes within Pristina, capital city now, from very tactical urban interventions in different schools around city, in different parks around city. We are now pushing forwards to create the kind of key boulevard, or the lung of the city, as we are calling it, which is a 2.6 kilometers intervention. And in cities like Prishtina, it is actually a lot easier to sort of intervene and make an impact. So it's a lot easier than in large cities like Istanbul. We have a city of about 400,000 people. It's quite a dense city. And with what we're doing now, there's a Mother Teresa Boulevard, is called one of the main boulevards, which was only about 1 kilometer long. We've extended that for another 700 meters on the first phase, but the overall will be about 2.6 kilometers, which links 10 neighborhoods of the city. So today, the city is overcome by cars. It is not very safe. It is not very pleasant to walk through for pedestrians. It looks as if it's, again, designed for cars. Even though it takes you from one place to another by car about half an hour, and you can walk it in 10 minutes, you know, the culture is as such that people feel like they need to get into the cars, because the streets, they don't provide you with that feeling of safety. And hence, for us, it was very important to start this redefinition of the city center, redefinition of what it means to live in the city, where you are putting pedestrian first, urban transport and alternative means of movement second, and then cars third. And so what we found out is that areas that were previously, like this one, the image that you see here is right in the city center, which was one of the main roads that linked all these different neighborhoods. So it was a key artery for urban traffic, which we have closed now. We've closed it up for pedestrians, and it has become an event space. It has become an environment where, you know, from that, as you can see, loads of cars to now loads of people. We just recently had a Race for the Cure, a marathon organized in this area that brought thousands of people together, from very young to very old, from different abilities, that came together to fight against this disease. And again, this is one of the examples of how the city is starting to transform and to be utilized for these larger events, so for people to come together for causes that they feel are very important for, again, for all ages. And these environments now that we're creating in the central location of Pristina, they're providing opportunities for all people. And again, as I said, starting from the very young. These are now also additional images showing different events that are happening, different sort of workshops that are organized on the streets, you know, taking into account predominantly children. I guess that was, you know, the kind of just a brief introduction of everything that Pristina is now doing, with focus on early childhood all the way to, well, 77 and beyond. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Geç katılanlar olmuştur. Şunları demek istedim kendisine, pardon, duyamamış oldu beni. Maratondan bahsetti. Yani şehrin tekrar insanla kavuşması, ben öyle diyorum, insanın gözünden tekrar tanımlanması ve bu tanımlamayı yaparken işte engellilik, farklılık, yaşa bağlı olarak durumların içermesi aslında bir maksat, yani bir bakıma da insan hakları o çerçevesi. Ama şunu ekledim, çok önemli şeyler yapılıyor. Birazdan Cemil Bey'i de duyacağız ama 15 dakikalık sanki bir maraton gibi bu sunumları yapıyoruz ama eminim ki internet sayesinde daha fazla olarak da bu bilgiye sahip olabiliriz. Ama şu notlarımdan da hani tekrar baktığım zaman elbette ki güvenlik önemli ve ama şehrin dizayn edilirken insanların odak olması ve belki onların bilinç dışı ya da bilinçli olaraktan o işin içine biraz psikolojik kısmı da giriyor. Çünkü o kısım beni de heyecanlandırıyor alan itibarıyla. Bir şehre o gözden bakabilmek. Çünkü hepimiz biriciyiz ve kimsenin de dışarıda kalmaması gerekiyor.
We're all unique and nobody should be excluded. Local governments are very important because you cannot always mobilize ministries quickly. In that regard, local governments have a huge contribution. I personally experienced that. I have two team members, Hande Hanım and Kadriye Hanım, in Boğaziçi University. Let me give some information about what we do, Cemil Bey. Outside Istanbul, we have this Bebek 95 0 to 3-year-old early intervention program. We developed in educational sciences with a colleague from the Department of Psychology. There was a presentation yesterday about psychological resilience. Serra Müderrisoğlu, she was also part of our team. We started in Istanbul in 2017. Then we went to Karşıyaka outside Istanbul. And this is very important for us as academicians. I don't know if you're following Boğaziçi University, but maybe you know the events going on in our university right now. So I would like to talk about Cemil Bey, and then I want to thank him very much afterwards, because our project was Bebek 95. It's also called City 95. My team members are here. It's not just our project. It was with Karşıyaka Municipality. Now I will read the CV of Cemil Bey, and in the meantime, you can perhaps prepare his presentation. Dr. Cemil Tugay. He is the son of a teacher father. He was born in Van. He studied at İzmir İnönü High School. He graduated from high school in 1983. In 1989, he graduated from the School of Medicine in Ege University. He worked as a practitioner physician in Çorum. He specialized in plastic surgery. In 2000, he worked at İzmir Atatürk Research and Education Hospital. In 1997, he went to the U.S. Cleveland Clinic. He worked for 1 year as a researcher physician. Between 2001-2005, he worked at Karşıyaka State Hospital. Between 2005-2009, he worked at İzmir Şili City Hospital as a plastic surgeon, surgery specialist. And in 2009, he worked as a freelancer. He is now working. He was working in his private office, but he closed it down after he was elected to the municipality. He speaks English and French. Yes, in anything you would like to add, Cemil Bey? This is about your work as a physician. I don't speak French. I just understand French a little bit because my father was a French teacher. I guess my colleagues prepared this CV. I didn't have the chance to have a look at it because I was too busy. But it's rather the CV of a physician, but I'm here as a mayor. So perhaps I should talk about that too a little bit. First of all, I would like to thank everyone who is here. This is a very important topic, and you're here to listen and maybe to make some contributions. Boğaziçi University pioneered this City 95 project in Turkey, and in early childhood there are different projects by local governments, and I think these are very valuable. So I want to congratulate everyone who is aware of the importance of this issue. I'm here in this forum for the first time. It's an excellent organization. I'm very impressed. I wanted to underline that. Congratulations to the organizing team. Well, you listen to my CV. I'm a doctor, a physician, and when it comes to local government, I come from a background that has nothing to do with urban planning, and I came to this position as a mayor from an irrelevant area. And after I came to this position, I tried to come up with a roadmap. I tried to identify my main responsibilities. I feel the same thing in every international conference. Turkey has some different needs compared to other countries. It has different problems, naturally, because when it comes to healthcare and social services, there are different organizations compared to Europe. In Turkey, we have a huge gap in this area. So local governments and municipalities need to do something about this. We need to work more heavily in these areas. After I became a mayor, after a few months, there was a problem in the city. And after that, I met Hande in Boğaziçi University. Children from 0 to 3 years of age are invisible in city life. Of course, we talk about urban design mainly, but in the household or outside the house where children socialize, there are very important gaps, very big problems, and there wasn't enough work to meet those problems. So, in fact, those 0 to 3-year-old children were left to their own devices. So after noticing that, we decided to create this group. We sent a group of colleagues to Boğaziçi University, and after that, we started this program. We define an individual until the age of 18 as a child, but here we're talking about early childhood. 95 is the height of a child that is 3 years old, more or less. That's how tall a 3-year-old is. That's why it's called 95, and it's named after the city, Karşıyaka, to make it more specific, Karşıyaka 95. Well, we actually went to the period before birth, after the 7th month of pregnancy. We started to inform candidate mothers after, about what they should do. So before the child is born, our colleagues have this contact with the mothers, and after the 7th month of pregnancy, they visit the mother once a month, and after birth, they visit the mother at home twice a month. So that's the home visit program. And after the 12th month, we bring them together in a center. The mothers and the children get together. They get together with the trainers in the center. After the child is born, the psychomotor development, sensory development, language development, cognitive development, self-care skills of the child are important. So we wanted to carry out that work in that center, and we informed families and supported them in a number of ways. We tried to teach them the steps of child development and how they can cope with the challenges. When we first started, we started really fast, but unfortunately there was the pandemic, so we had to stop the home visits for a while. But from the beginning until now, we have reached 14,219 households. We gave support to 947 families. And we had 4,561 meetings at the center. We give a package to meet the needs of the newborn, which may not be very important, but we wanted to include not only the mothers, but also the fathers. We give them training as well, and we think it's very important to train the fathers. We do this at home and through some trainings outside home. You see a slogan here, from conscious families to healthy generations. We think it's also very important that in the first 6 months there is breastfeeding, just mother's milk. This is very typical information. Any doctor would say this to any mother. Maybe in other countries it may be a different situation, but in Turkey, the first 6 months, feeding only with mother's milk is just 15%. 85% of women have insufficient milk. It also is related to working conditions too. Or they just give other nutrients and they just stop or they just harm the breastfeeding or the quality of the mother's milk. This is an extremely important topic. I could talk very long about that, but for a child to be healthy, for sufficient physical and mental capacity, the best thing you can do for a baby is breastfeeding. And 85% of the mothers in Turkey are making a mistake there, so we have to correct that. So we have this role as the municipality to warn and to educate females to support their breastfeeding. We have done a lot of work for that. Some of it is like a campaign. We wanted to encourage them through a campaign. And we also encouraged the use of breast pumps so that they could do this at work and bring the milk. And we have breastfeeding rooms in 8 different locations in the city, only to be used for this purpose. So we built these special rooms for this. And there's some misinformation. They sell some baby food saying it's equivalent to breast milk. This is a wrong commercial slogan. We tried to explain this everywhere. I went on national TV to address this problem. Perhaps this is what I would like you to keep in mind most. Of course, it's important for a kid to find a playground in the city. It's important to design the urban space on that basis. But for all that to happen, it's important to have healthy children to begin with. So we have this kind of billboards. We said that this baby food is never an equivalent to mother's milk. We have this news in the newspaper. So these are the breastfeeding rooms in 8 different locations. And these are from the fathers' workshops. We gave training to fathers. Fatherhood is as difficult as being a mother, you can be sure. Of course, mothers take more care of the babies, but it's important that fathers show attention to their children. And I think that fathers' education should be part of this City 95 project. After the age of 3, there is early childhood education, and we wanted to be part of this preschool. We have 8 kindergartens and 2 playrooms. We don't teach theoretical knowledge to children here. That's the most important point. We want them to know the environment where they live. We want them to know the city where they live. And we want them to improve their personal skills. So we have a lot of outdoor trips. We don't teach English to kids, no. But we make sure they meet these plants, saplings. They have a garden. In their kindergarten, they grow plants and vegetables. We don't have photos here, but we bring street pets, street animals, so that they learn how to have good relations with animals. We have this kitchen art center. We have simple but fun kitchen training for kids, cooking training, and they are such lovely and cute creatures, I would say. So beyond this early childhood, we have this other project for 8 to 10-year-olds. This is not very well known and it's not widespread. Of course, a lot of families and children want to do something about sports. But which sports branch to choose? In identifying this, it's generally a preference of families that comes first, and rarely it's kids who say, I want this sports. But physical capacity measurement is something that people skip, but it's very important, because if you guide a child to a sports that he's not physically fit for, after some time he will quit. He quits after a short period of time. So the Sports Performance Measurement Center is what we established. We have a number of tests here. We have a software, and we just see which sports branch the kid is talented for. We measure and guide the child to that area. We have a lot of sports schools within the municipality. And if we deem a child is talented for a particular sports branch, we don't charge them anything. We have support policies for that, and we just try to advance them in that sports area. You may ask, is this the duty of the municipality? Well, there is a gap there, so we had to assume that responsibility. And we have a children's council for older children. For a child-friendly city, we have a lot of workshops with children, and my colleagues did not include this in this presentation, but we also have play streets. We have changes in the playgrounds around the schools. We continue our work in that field. We didn't include this here, but we ask children how they perceive the city where they live, and there were very interesting results. I can tell you that we learn a lot from kids. And we have this award as well. Excluding winter, we have this event in other months. In fact, there is an association in Istanbul. They had a few events, and we learned about those events, and we thought it's very much fun. I thought it's really fun, so I did the same in Karşıyaka. We have been doing it for the last 3 years. Every week, we're in a different neighborhood. We close one street completely for traffic. It's off traffic. And the kids use the street freely. We just ensure they have this really enjoyable day. And the goal is, for my own age group, I can say that we were at peace with the streets when we grew up in this country. But then there came the traffic and security and safety issues. So the children were torn from the streets and they were closed in the indoor play grounds. But, you know, spending time with your neighbors' children is great out on the street. So we want our kids to make peace with the streets. And we want them to use more space on the street.
Mümkün değil.
So it's not possible to remind people of this culture instantly. So for the first time, people started to feel that the street in front of their homes is their own. So we call it "The Street is Yours." This is the title of the event that we organize. So in order to spend time together, to play freely, this is what we created. It's quite joyful for kids. So we make sure that certain things change. Here's something special. Reuse. Not to waste. So this is the culture that we're trying to create. A second-hand bazaar. We hold this bazaar 2 times in a month. So people heavily participate in this bazaar activity, and the children find it so fun to be a part of it. It is one of the successful activities that we implement. Thank you very much. Thank you. So as a doctor, as a medical doctor, I'm not a medical doctor. So since you are a doctor, we were able to, thanks to your inputs, receive your feedbacks from a medical perspective. So can you turn on the website? So Baby 95 is what it is called. And you can find it in English as well if you want to follow it. So Baby 95 was initiated in 2017. We started with 4 neighborhoods: Sultanbeyli, Maltepe, Sarıyer, and Beyoğlu were the names of the neighborhoods. So we visited the houses for the kids from the age group of 0 to 3. And we have initiated another activity with Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality, and it was finalized. And the first pilot activity was carried out in Karşıyaka, İzmir. And again, this project was embraced by İzmir Metropolitan Municipality. And in different parts of the city, different adaptations took place, and in Sultanbeyli region, the program was translated in Arabic so that the Syrian refugees can be a part of it. Maybe in Prishtina, it can also be implemented in your city as well, if people would show interest for the kids from the age group of 0 to 3. So it's a kind of dream of world for kids of 0 to 3 years of age. So I would like to turn to the audience to see if they have any questions. We have received some questions from the app as well. As Baby 95, let me remember the numbers and figures. Let me look at my notes. We have reached 4,000 families together with the pilot activity. I can say that 4,400 families were reached. We are going to include the fathers as well, and this is what we target. And Karşıyaka is the first example. I don't want to give lots of numbers. We provide some kits for the mothers, special kits, and we have visited lots of homes. We worked in the field, and this is what we notice. We keep making reference to the right to access. So every kid has the right to access. I'm not only referring to the physical access, I'm referring to all types of access rights. So we had the chance to leave our touch to the lives of the kids. Do we have any questions from the app? No, it seems no. I would like to thank our guests, and I would like to ask if they have anything to add on top of what they have said. Let's give a big round of applause for them first. And do you have anything to add? Would you like to add anything? Yes, Mr. Cemil, do you have anything? Or maybe let me emphasize this age group of 0 to 3. This age interval is heavily neglected. Speaking of kids, we just imagine kids being after the age of 3, like 5, 6, 7, or the kids at the school age. But the kids at the age group of 0 to 3, people think that they are to stay at home, but they should not be imprisoned at home. And the city managers, city administrators should take them into consideration. In the school, in the playgrounds, there should be some special areas to be created for the kids at this age group of 0 to 3. And the creators of those spaces, of those playgrounds, should take this into consideration. This has to be specially designed for this age group, for the mental growth to take place. The biggest part of the mental growth takes place in this age interval, which should not be neglected at all. And the kids at this age group decide at that age how they're going to be interacting with the external world. They decide at that very age interval if they can trust the rest of the world or not. And they decide whether the world is a bad place or a good place. And this is the age interval during which their perception takes place. And this is why we have to be very cautious, and the well-educated, well-trained mother and father should be helping them, and home environment should be provided for them. And for example, we have those centers, as I referred to. Those centers are very important because these kids can come together with their peers and they develop their friendships. They learn how to socialize with their peers, and this age group should not be despised on, should not be belittled. One has to work on this age group so sensitively. I would like to commend you. You have contributed to what we're doing a lot. I would like to thank you so much for what you do. One has to spare human resources, financial resources. A special unit has to be created. So the ones who will work in those units have to have a good level of awareness. We have managed to do it so well. I believe that actually I have dedicated myself, and the colleagues and they have worked so hard. I would definitely recommend all the local administrations to take this into consideration, to work on this specifically.
Well, it's fantastic to hear everything that you're doing here in Turkey about child growth and development. One aspect I think which is also super important that we neglect is nature, is the idea of growing outdoors, engaging with the outdoor spaces. You know, we feel, obviously we love our little ones from 0 to 3, we want to protect them, and we perhaps by trying to protect them too much, we hinder their possibilities and opportunities for growth and engaging with nature and everything that being kind of exposed to natural surroundings brings, you know, in terms of positive psychological development and impact, and also, I guess, different temperatures that we expose our kids. You know, we keep them in these indoor environments, and I think that has this sort of negative aspect which we must learn you know, to kind of engage with nature. And the nurseries, for example, what we're now experimenting with is to have these sort of outdoor nurseries where kids, you know, learn to be part of the nature right from the very beginning. But thank you very much.
Thank you
It's
very
been an
much
honor
as
and
well.
pleasure to be here, and thanks to the audience as well for being here.